Hi, this is just a quick video tutorial, if you like, on how to use a web-based service called Sociograph, which allows you to do analysis on groups that you're an admin for within Facebook. You can run it from a laptop, which I'm doing now, or a phone or tablet, or a desktop PC, whichever you've got access to. So, okay, fire up the browser that you're going to be using. The one I'm using is Firefox. It takes a little bit longer to do these things when I'm recording the screen. Obviously, it's got to write the video for the recording as well as actually open the software. So, apologies for some of these things taking a few seconds to open. Okay, so once you're in and connected to your browser, search engine, or whatever, what you need to search for is Sociograph. When you actually select that, 9 times out of 10, Sociograph is the first hit that you'll get. You can see this says log out here. That's because I'm permanently logged into this thing. Don't worry about the billing. That's for the free premium services, which we're not going to use. So, okay, click on the link for Sociograph. Normally, when at this point it would go in and you get the landing page where it would ask you to sign in or create an account. What you tend to do in the top right-hand corner, you'll see something saying log in with Facebook. So you just click on that, log in with your normal Facebook login credentials, and away you go. It'll ask you a question saying, do you want Sociograph to manage your group? Say not now or no, whatever the question is. Also, you can see I've got a few groups here. The one that we're obviously interested in is Newfoundland Photography Contest. One thing that flummoxed me a bit initially was I kept putting the contest in with a capital C and it couldn't find the group. So make sure you spell it right and you should be straight in. When you go in subsequently, you'll see this here as one of your groups and you would just click on it the way I'm doing now. First thing we do when we get in is there is a start date. So we do a click on that and it says obviously it's today's date. Start date, in the case of this week's sort of vote, if you like, we would need to start it on the 29th of July. So you literally just move it back 1 month. You can see it's actually working out in the background. It's already starting to work certain stats out. Ultimately, it'll get around to going back to July. I'll just click it again to make sure. Yeah, it was just obviously working some stats here. You can see the funky looking little graph there. So what we would do to start the count for the week is we would click on the 29th, which was last Saturday. And you can see it's set the date up here. We then would go for the end date, obviously being Friday. It's automatically selected that. We would obviously run this on a Saturday and select the 5th and what have you. At this point, it's aware scanning. So what you can actually see down here is a summary of what it's done so far. So there's 134 posts that it's scanned. 100 people have done it. 342 people have been commenting on it, and there's been a total of 1,027 reactions. So the reactions or reactors are people who've liked and or commented. So we have to basically just sit for a while and wait for this to actually go through all of the activities that it needs to do. It literally checks every single post, every single reaction. So there's quite a bit of a work for it to do. You see these numbers along here every now and again they'll sort of fuzz out, and that's just its way. Along with this funky little thing here, that basically tells you it's still working, what have you. I know from looking earlier, we're probably looking at about, I think there's 141 posts, so that'll be an indication certainly to me that all have been done. But this is the bit where you can go away, make a cup of coffee, come back later, give it time to do its magic. Ultimately though, it will get there, so we'll just move down and look at some of these other things. It'll show you here, there's an activity graph about the number of posts, reactions and comments and things on various dates and what have you. Some basic totals here where we've got information, 126 photos, 2 videos, links, statuses, events, and this and the other. Don't know what the events were, but never mind. Ultimately though, when you scroll down a little further, it starts showing you the really interesting stuff. So what we've got here is the posts, stuff about members, group growth, inactive members, export. You see that's highlighted. That's one of the premium features. So if that were inclined, it would let you dump this off to a comma separated values file that you could pull into a spreadsheet and do all sorts of funky graphs that you wanted to yourself. But the really interesting bit for doing the vote, if you like, is this bit. And you can see what it's got is it's got the post, the photograph that was posted. It's also got information along here. There's the date when it was posted. But we've got a rating. That's an overall rating. I'll come back to that in a minute. But you've got the number of reactions here. The reactions are, has anybody commented on it or clicked like for a video or a photograph, sorry, and how many people have shared it and how many comments have been made on that particular post. The rating is actually a combination of these three, and it's used to actually work out a ranking, if you like. And you can see, according to this, that's got a very high ranking because there was 65 likes, if you like, and 15 comments. This has got a relatively low ranking because there was only 22 likes and 5 comments. But that will change. If I go back up to the top here, and you can see it's still working. It's up to 139 posts there now. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go and make a coffee myself. So I shall come back later on. Yep, I needn't bother. There it is. It's 841. I know because I checked manually how many posts we had. So we got 141 posts, 104 authors, 351 comments, and 1,098 reactions in total. So if we go down, what you'll see now is, lo and behold, that doesn't seem to have changed. The really interesting one is when we click on the number of comments. It's the comments really that we're interested in because that's where they say the word vote, and that allows us to count it as a valid vote for that particular post. So what you can do is if you click on the comments, it will sort it into descending order. So we'll get the biggest hitter first, and you can see there's an obvious one there. So this one, ranking of 626, 214 reactions to it, so 214 likes, 66 comments. Now, if this next one, you see it's got a higher ranking because there was more people liked it, but there it looks as if there's less people commented. So you can see what I mean about you don't really take any notice of the rating because it can be skewed by what's happened between these two here. In this particular instance, obviously, if I was doing this tomorrow and we came up with this, we couldn't hand on heart turn around and say, yep, this one's the winner because it's got one more than that. We would physically have to go in and count everything for that one and everything for that one. Because it could be the fact that out of those 66 comments, there was only 50 said vote. This one out of this 65, all 65 could have said vote. So that would be this week's winner. Sometimes you do get a very, very close call with, in this case, first, second. Third, maybe it's not so much a fine line, but I would still be, for these, I'd still be inclined to check the votes for those three. An easy way of checking the votes, you don't have to then fire up Facebook and this, that, and the other. When you're on here, if you actually click on the photograph, it will actually take you into your Facebook and it will fire up the post you've just clicked on. And then I'll not bore you with the details, you've done it so many times before. You can actually go and physically count the number of comments, the word vote. And there you go. So you're into Facebook proper, where you can actually do your stuff and count the votes. And what a face that is. Okay, so going back to this particular tab, as I say, it's not foolproof. It won't actually come up and give you the answer you want. Some weeks you might find there really is an outstanding winner. You'll have something like 100 and odd comments. The next one down will be 50, and you're pretty certain that the 100 and odd comments is going to be the winner. There's more comments, chances of people comment, obviously, but would still just check the top three. One of the really interesting ones, actually, when you go back up to the top here, you can see you can actually do ones for last month, last year, all time. The all-time one, I'll just do this, not that we would ever use it, but it's entertaining to be honest. This will take a little bit of a time, so I might actually edit out the weight for this and come back, although you'll never know it. You can see the jump in the number of posts, authors, comments, and writers. There's probably enough there to give you a feel for who the all-time winner was. So if I just gently scroll down when it gives me a chance. It's obviously got a lot of work to do, this one, because it goes all the way back to 2013, I believe, when the group started. But you can see here what's looking at what's won. And look, we've got this scurrilous fella, Williams. He didn't win, obviously, but this guy did. Charlie Richardson. It's Charlie the Noose outside Buckingham Palace with the armed police officer. And what you can, this is what I mean, is that some of these things actually throw up some quite entertaining read. This is when Paul actually is the winner, and Paul announcing the winner actually got more comments than when Charlie got posted. Okay, but obviously this has a way higher rating because there was all of these comments virtually said vote, whereas none of these did. So there you go. Anyway, that's a quick guided tour of Sociograph. It's not going to replace physically getting hands on and counting the number of votes cast for the winners, but it should substantially reduce how many potentially you have to count.